All right, what's going on? What's going on? Welcome, welcome. So we're back on the second in this series in this real estate and prospecting live series. So today is going to be a little bit different. I'm stepping up the game here. Again, the goal of this is as I'm working, you're here. I'm waiting on the phone for a prospect to be calling on as my dialer is calling in, and we have examples as we go. I think it's going to be fun. What I teach here, which you can find by downloading my book for free at myEmpirePRO.com, is that exposure is everything. Okay. In your business, exposure is everything. The whole idea here is for you to create more and more exposure, generate more clients. And there are multiple ways to do that. Depends on what kind of resources you have. Would determine how fast you do this business. So with that being said, let's dive on in. Today, I've created. Let me share my screen. I've created a nice screen where I can show you what's going on as I'm teaching you and as we take live calls as new prospects come on the line. So this is going to be a lot of fun. Okay. Yep. That's my screen right there. So it is about creating exposure. Again, you can download my book absolutely for free at myempirepro.com. And I will go through my slides as we have in betweens. But in the meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead and start my dialer. Okay. So just bear with me for 1 second as I start my dialer. You could be watching a rebroadcast of this. It doesn't matter. Just act like you're watching. Share your comments, anything like that below. If you have any questions, or maybe why I say certain things that I say. If you have a better way that I could prospect or say or handle certain objections, feel free. Okay. So in the meanwhile, I'm gonna start my dialer. Starting my dialer right now. You did not complete your previous term campaign. Would you like to resume it? Yes, it's fine. We could resume older campaigns. And essentially, I will be here every day. The time may change depending on other projects that I have going on. Right now, I have about 2,582 leads. About total numbers to dial is 5,961. So let's see here. Yep. So depending on other projects I have going on, but for right now, I'm scheduled that for the next 2 weeks, I'll be here at 4:30 every day doing this weekdays. Okay. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I may pick up deals, I may not, but just it's good for you to see how this is going because typically the other trainings that you see out there will be smooth talkers and things like that. You have smooth talkers telling you that, and they make it sound like every call that they make is going to be a deal. Unfortunately, it doesn't come that way. So today we find out if there's a deal or not. It doesn't matter. That's why I'm actually teaching you as you go. There's a lot of hustle that goes into this, and that's why you want to set yourself up for consistency, set yourself up for the long run, and don't get attached to the outcome when you're talking to those people. Again, as you can see on the screen right now, it's all about conversations. I want to talk about a little bit about that in a second. But let me start the dialer. We'll start the dialer. My phone is going to ring in a second. There you go. So the dialer calls me and it says press 1 to continue. All right, so we're live now. So callers could come on anytime. We're dialing AL right now. And in betweens, I will talk about what you see on the slide. All right, there are it's about so at this point in time, there are 0 leads called. There are 0 calls made, 0 contacts, 0 voicemails. The idea is to increase these numbers over time. Okay. All right. So 1 call just got made and it skipped. I think it was a no answer. Okay. It's a no answer. All right. And if you hear any baby in the background, anything like that, I'm trying to keep them quiet. They're upstairs, but let's just stay focused here. Okay. But they're kind of far away. All right. So let's talk about let's see. talk about conversations. Okay, so the idea here is you want to create exposure for your business. How you do that can vary from scenario to scenario. Please leave your message for. All right, so we have to drop a voicemail. All right, so anytime I have to drop a voicemail, I have to wait for the beep. That's what you just saw. We just dropped the voicemail. We keep it moving to the next one, right? So conversations, when somebody comes on the line, the idea is to create a conversation, okay? But first of all, like I was saying, you want to create exposures because exposure is everything. Some people on the internet call that traffic, right? They call it traffic. Some people call it leads, right? Some people call it clients. You know, when people walk through the door into your regular, not regular, these days is not necessarily regular, but traditional moms and pop store, when people walk in, that's an exposure, that's a contact that was created, right? In medical field, we call that encounters, right? An encounter could be a visit to a doctor's office, it could be a phone call, right? So in the real estate business, it's the same thing. You, the more encounters you have, the better. Okay. Sometimes we call it touches. The more touches you create in your business, the better. Does that make sense? Okay. So you just want to have as many encounters, as many touches as possible. And that can come in multiple different forms. Obviously, the ideal is to be. Hello? Hello? Yes, hi. Yeah. I'm trying to speak to Mr. or Mrs. Walker. Who's this? I'm calling about a property on West 6th Avenue in Roselle, New Jersey. Yes. Yes, I was wondering. I was wondering if the owner was considering selling it. Yes, I sold already. Oh, it's sold already. Am I talking to the agent? No, you're talking to the owner. To the owner. Okay. So thank you so much. Yep. All right. So that property is sold, right? So I'm going to give it a disposition. So every time I have a contact, that was a contact that was just created, I have to give it a disposition. And this disposition is going to be previously sold. I'm going to give it sold. And the system allows me to do that. That way we can keep it moving to the next person, okay? Abundance, always create abundance. So again, it's about conversations. Majority of the conversations you're going to have are not going to lead to a deal. Okay, they're all leads. The idea is to convert leads to deals. Okay, this could have been a letter that I sent out, right? And that letter will hit the wrong person that's already sold their property. But you know, again, we're going to talk about your time versus money. When is the right time? When is it profitable for you to use a letter as opposed to using a call like the one I just made? You can call it absolutely free, but I find ways to not make it free, right? So, but anyway, back to the conversation part of it. So you have encounters and you have touches, and they're just potato. We're just creating exposures. We're digging through the rough to find the diamond. Okay, we're digging through all the duds to find the studs, right? And that's essentially what business is. Now, the process that you do that by is completely up to you and is completely dependent, obviously, subjected to the kind of resources you have, right? Some people will be rich enough to be able to do, be rich enough to be able to do, what do you call it, billboard on the highway, and maybe your pocket is not that deep, right? So it varies. It depends on you as an individual. It depends on your resources, right? So, and you have to be aware of that. You have to pay attention to that. Okay, you have to pay attention to how much resources you have and what you can afford to spend, either time, money, energy. Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. Got a voicemail to drop. Belonging to you, Deborah. Voicemail is full. Oh, please hang up. So we're gonna hang up, all right, and say no answer, and on to the next. All right. So, am I making sense here? But the first type of encounter and touch, the ideal is to have a conversation with a person, right? And the conversation starts typically like the one you just saw me had with Mr. Walker, right? Which was something to the effect, hey, this property in this place, I was wondering if you're considering selling, right? and they said it's already sold, right? So is it true? Is it yes? I don't care. If they said it's sold and it's not true, that means they're not motivated. Again, I'm only looking for motivated sellers. Okay. So that's how that works. All right. So yeah, ideally we're looking to have conversations. But to find conversations, you're gonna have to make lots of calls. So if you were doing this dialing manually, right, this would be very hectic. Okay, I use a dialer called the Storm Dialer from the Red X, and it costs $100, $100 per month. It's absolutely worth it because again, I can have this conversation with you, and in about 6 minutes, 7 minutes so far right now, 5 leads have been called. 11 calls has actually been made because there are leads that have multiple numbers. 12 calls right now, and one contact. Okay, so think about that. One contact out of 12 calls that was actually made, calling 6 leads, right, in 7 minutes. If I was manually dialing that, that's not the best use of my time. Now, if I can't afford $100 a month for a dialer, then absolutely I should still be able to do at least for a start. It's absolutely worth it.
Sorry, I missed your call. Please leave me a brief message and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
It's a voicemail.
Thanks so much and have a great day.
Beep beep.
At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished
This is a
recording,
house in Berkeley
you may hang
Heights.
up or press 1 for more options.
We're dropping that call, drop that voicemail. All right, so
Call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 516972941
another voicemail.
is not available.
So that was a back-to-back voicemail right there on the same lead. All right. So on to the next lead here. All right. So as we continue the conversation, as I was saying, the ideal encounter. There are multiple different types of encounters. It could be a visit to your website. It could be somebody calling you, right? So you receiving a call. It could be you reaching out to homeowners like I am doing right now using the Storm Dialer, right? But the more encounters you create, the more money you're gonna make. Okay, and this is where the hustle comes in. Here, hustle.
Call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging
Another
system.
voicemail. Okay.
908
So a lot of
728 254 is not available.
Okay, this way.
At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
All right, we dropped that voicemail. All right, so as you can see, I've only had one conversation, and that conversation essentially had a disposition of sold, already previously sold. Okay, and what am I calling? What numbers are this? I'm calling pre-foreclosures. Okay, the leads are pre-foreclosures. They're public records. You can pull them from any website, but this website, the Red X, have them ready for me, and they pull them into my dialer automatically for additional $40 per month. Okay, so again, I just applied for affiliate. So if you want to support what I'm doing here, you can use my affiliate link. I'll put that in the links as soon as it's ready. If it's never ready, it's okay. You can go ahead and buy it. It doesn't matter to me. It does matter to me, but like it's okay if you go purchase it. Okay, so
Sorry, you called has a voicemail box that has not been set up yet.
Not set up voicemail. Hang up. No answer. We set that as no answer so we can reattempt when we come back around to it later. All these leads are still good. Okay. Again, ideally, we're looking for conversations, but I've had only one conversation that led to nothing after 10 minutes of calling 10 leads. Okay. How do I know it's 10 leads? How am I counting? Because of the Storm Dialer records that I can see that on my screen right now. I'm not going to be sharing my screen because there are people's phone contact information on it. If it was just address, it's already public, but the phone numbers were not public. So for that reason, I will not be sharing my screen. Just so you know, I will not be sharing my screen of my Storm Dialer. I will continue to share the presentation as I go along. So as I was saying, conversation is ideal. But let me give you an update before I go on to the next slide here. The update here is 10 minutes and 43 seconds. 10 leads has been called, 18 calls made, only one contact that led to a disposition of already sold, and 4 voicemails have been left. Okay, and that left me with a score of 24. And the way it scored is it assigned points to assign points to each one of the multiple different dispositions I could have. Okay, a mix of disposition and encounters. Okay, disposition is what's the result of an encounter. Okay, so if I made one call, I get 1 point. Okay, just for one call made. How? Why? Because you want to keep track of your effort into your business, and it's a great way to keep track of your effort because calls lead to deals. Okay, now there's quite a few hoops in between that you have to jump in between to get to the deals, right? So and those hoops will pretty much determine how many points. So for every contact made, you get a 2 point. Okay, for every appointment that's actually set, you get 5 points. Okay, let me resume. Something I have to resume this. There you go. All right. So for every appointment set, you get 5 points. For every voicemail left, you get 1 point. For every callback set, like if you set an appointment to call somebody back, that's 1 point. Okay. For every 30 minutes that you are on the dialer, that's 10 points. Why? Why so many points? Because the longer you stay on, the more chances you will get a conversation. Again, ideally, you want to have conversations. Okay. And
this is Neville and Valerie Garrison. Please leave a message and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
So we drop that voicemail. It's instantly going on to the next one. That's the beauty about this, right? All right. So for every 30 minutes, I mean, like every minute, every second you spend trying to dial, you're getting closer to a deal. That's the ideal here. So it's a beautiful tracker. Ultimately, in business, you want to set goals, right? But not just goals. You want to set smart goals. And smart goals, the word smart has been turned to acronym, and you can Google that. I'm not sure if I'll remember, but I think S stands for specific, M for measurable, I think A for attainable, meaning realistic, right? But the R is for realistic, right? So attainable, realistic, and I think the T is for let me Google that real quick. How about that? Let's Google that. Smart goal, smart goal, smart goal. Smart goal. There you go. Let's see. Can I find it? Can I find it? Can I find it? It's an acronym for specific, measurable, achievable, same thing as attainable, results focused, right? And time bound. So you want to give yourself time, okay? That's why I have other activities going on, consulting, training, dealing with clients and things like that. So I had to give this time that I'm going to make this call, right? And as we're making the call, I've also decided to simultaneously be teaching as I'm doing this, right? Which is why we're here. So ideally, an encounter that you want is conversations, okay? Because conversation will lead to a deal.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message
system. Let's drop this voicemail real quick.
73226888825 is not available. At the tone, please record your message.
Uh-oh. I hit that button way too soon. Way too soon. Hopefully that doesn't mess up our call. All right, so yeah, it's dialing our other number right now. All right, so
Hello?
Hello, can I speak to Jose? Hello?
Hello?
Can I speak to Jose, please? Jose or Carlos?
Hello?
Can you hear me? Hello? All right. We're going to call that a bad number. So anytime I call Elizabeth, there's a very high chance that somebody that doesn't speak English will pick up. So it's okay. Gotta keep it moving. I'm gonna call it wrong and trash that number. That way I don't have to deal with that again. Or would you like to consider us as a contact? I'll say yes. So, and we'll continue. All right. So one of the things I covered on the first session here, one of the things I covered was not taking it personally, not taking any outcome of any of these calls personal. Yes, they are somewhat cold calling, okay, because these are people that don't know you yet. I was in denial about that because I was very confident about my abilities to talk to people on the phone. But the truth is that some of you are afraid of cold calling people. I'm not. Okay, these are people in pre-foreclosures, and I have a solution to bring to the table, and I have no problem selling my solution whatsoever. Okay, so my confidence was a bit to the roof, and I was in denial. I don't want to call it. I didn't want to call it cold calling, but it is what it is. It's cold calling, okay? But it's cold calling, and I'm leading with a solution for someone's problem, existing problem. They're in pre-foreclosure, right? But I don't lead with that exactly. I ask them if they will consider selling, and if they say, I say, hey, did you know the house is in pre-foreclosure? That would be my next question. If they say no, if they're still on the phone with me, okay? If they say sold, then I get off the phone. If they say not interested, I get off the phone. On to the next. That's why we have abundance of leads. Ideally, the idea is to have conversations because conversation is the closest thing among all these different dispositions, right? It's the closest thing to an actual deal. Because if you have a conversation, then you can make an appointment. Okay, an appointment is the closest. It's closer than conversation, but it's closer than just making the call. A call is how you get to the conversation. So ideally, we want conversations on this phone, but you're gonna call so many numbers that majority of the calls are gonna end up in other type of outcome, which we're gonna talk about here. And those each one of those outcomes will become additional form of encounter.
Please leave your
Okay.
message for
So let's drop this voicemail and I go on to the next
908
slide.
943
All right, we'll drop that. Let's go on to the next slide over here. Okay, so the next exposure or touch or encounter here, we're gonna call that voicemails. Okay, so this is again, it's a mix of encounters, encounter types, and dispositions. Okay, and each encounter type and disposition will count as touches, will count as exposure for your business. Okay, and that's why I want you to pay attention to.
Por favor, deje su mensaje para.
Got a voicemail here, waiting for the beep. Come on. Hello. Okay, that was an actual voicemail speaking Spanish, so I couldn't tell. All right, so this is Linden. So Linden has a sizable population of Spanish people, Spanish speaking people too. But anyway, so the second type of encounter that's that I look forward to counting when I get on these sessions. Okay, and I'm going to use this session as an opportunity to continue to I just had like an epiphany all of a sudden right now. I'm going to continue to use it to train you here.
Please leave your message
Another
for
voicemail.
201-532-6434.
Drop the voicemail. Okay.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 90829.
Another voicemail. This is the third voicemail on the same lead.
At the tone, please record your
The fourth.
message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
All right, on to the next. Following the next line right now. All right, so so the next so conversations, contact is pretty much ideal. All right, so that session just got ended. Okay, I don't know why it ended at 19 minutes, just like yesterday, but that session just ended. And let me see if I can call back in. Let me see if there's a way to actually call back into that number. Maybe that's not a bad idea to call.
Thank you for calling the Red X, the industry's premier prospecting products and services. If you know your party's extension, please dial it now. If you're interested in purchasing Red X services, please press 1.
Yeah, I'm gonna have the number call me again, unfortunately. All right, so let's end that, and we're gonna go back and continue. All right, so that happened exactly at 19 minutes yesterday. Well, today we're not gonna worry and scramble. We're gonna call right back in continue the call. All right, so like I was saying, voicemails is the second type of encounter that I like to count. That counts towards my effort into the business, my efforts towards creating more exposure for my business. Okay. All right. So Storm is calling me now. There we go.
Press 1 to continue.
All right. We can continue now. It's dialing the next line. All right. So um, unfortunately, I think there was 43 leads that was called last, but I'll give you the roundup number for everything today at the end of this session. Okay. So voicemails is the second type that I like to count. You're gonna get a lot more. You're gonna leave a lot more voicemails than you would have contact, and that should make sense to you because you're hitting a lot more voicemail box than actual people to talk to. So, like for example, I only had in that 19 minutes. I only had one. All right, only had one. So that was no answer. Real quick in 59 seconds already. This is not. So one lead called, one calls made. Four additional, two additional numbers to call on this lead. So the Red X pulls it pulls five numbers on this particular lead. Two of them are on the do not call list. Okay, so it's not gonna call them. It's gonna call the three other lines. Okay, and it's calling the second line right now. Okay, so you're gonna get a lot more voicemail, but every time you leave a voicemail, you need to think of it as another touch. Okay, because somebody is gonna listen to that. People still check their voicemail. Okay, I don't check mine until maybe 24 hours later because I'm just that busy and I need to prioritize my life. And you can hear on my voicemail that actually say, send me a text message if you want to get a hold of me, right? But essentially, people still check their voicemail because majority of the population still check their voicemail. And every time you leave a voicemail, which the Vortex, the Storm Dialer with the Red X is very good with, okay, you need to count that as additional exposure in your business.
Call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging
So,
system.
see here.
Tomasa is not
Tomasa
available.
Perez.
The mailbox is full and cannot accept any
Mailbox
messages.
full. I'm gonna put no answer. So no answer on that one. Okay. So, but that still count as a call, right? So every call that's made, we're going to talk about that in a second. But voicemails is the next thing to a conversation as far as how I weigh the effect of the encounter. Okay, the effect of that encounter, like how much of a touch is that encounter when it comes to creating exposure for my business, creating exposure for my real estate consulting or any type of business for that matter. Okay, so as you can see, I told you earlier the scores. Let me resume. The scores for voicemails is still 1 point for every voicemail. So for every call you make is 1 point. For every voicemail left is 1 point. For every contact is 2 points because you actually speak to a person. Because again, that's the closest thing to a deal. Okay, and you see that the points that's assigned to each one is based on how close you are to a possible deal. Okay, and so every 30 seconds counts as, sorry, 30 minutes counts as 10 points, obviously, because you're on the line, actually hustling, right? So that deserves 10 points. But an appointment counts 5 points. A contact, that means a conversation with a person, an actual person, regardless of the result or the outcome, is 2 points. Okay. And and 2 points, and everything else is basically 1 point. Okay, so if you make a call and you leave a voicemail, that's 2 points because one for the call, one for the voicemail. If you make a call, right, and you make a contact, that's 3 points. Okay, and that's how it adds up, and it allows you to measure yourself. And if you had a team, okay, one of the beautiful things about doing this and having this in your business is you can literally now have a team doing this for you, even if you don't have enough time. Eventually, you want this to not be worth your time. You want to be able to hire somebody to make these first calls out to people for you. Okay, and there are ways to outsource that for 300 to 500 bucks a month. Okay, overseas. Okay, And that's something we're going to cover later on as we advance through this process together. But obviously, before you outsource something, you want to make sure that you are actually doing it yourself. Okay, you don't want to be outsourcing something that you don't have an experience with, or you don't know the possible outcome.
Forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 973330282 is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
All right, just drop that voicemail. So that'll be the first voicemail in 5 minutes. It's a little bit weird, but usually we get a lot more voicemails. But it's all good, right? So every second counts, as long as you're making these calls, count towards your goal, to your first deal, right? And all you need is just one solid deal, okay? With one solid deal, and now you can start outsourcing stuff. Now you can start doing some more direct mailing, and you can have
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
Okay, we're about to leave another voice.
5 1 2 2 5 7 2 4 9 is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
All right, so that was a call that was just trying to come back. Somebody was trying to return a call, and I'm going to talk about why. Every call that's coming back to me counts as additional exposure for me. Okay, that's additional exposure because somebody just got a voicemail or something and they're trying to call me back. Now, if I'm in the middle of my session, I don't pick up because number one, it interrupts my old call session here, right? And number two, I want them to actually wait, and when people wait, it increases your value in the marketplace. It increases your attraction to working with you. They leave a voicemail, they leave a message, a text message or something, and then you can get back to them after you finish your session. And plus, you want a systematic flow through your process on a daily basis as you make your calls. So, and if everything else fails when you're trying to build your business, always make sure that you're following a system. Don't, because of the fear of losing out.
It's been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 90891799777 is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
So don't, because of the fear of missing out, the FOMO, pick up a call and you're not ready for the call. Let them leave a voicemail, okay? Leave a text message and get back to them after your 90 minutes to 120-minute session on a daily basis. Get back to them after that, okay? And that way you don't interrupt your call. You have a solid data. And my conversations are only with people that I encounter as we go. Now, I create rules like this as we go to, but I could change it tomorrow. But typically what I just said makes complete sense to me.
7 3 2 3 8 8 6
So
8
this is
1
the clock.
at the beep.
Maria
Play the message.
Just drop another voicemail, all right? So I want to keep going like that. Again, my goal is to have conversations first.
At the tone, please record your message. When you finish recording, or press 1 for more options. To leave a callback number, press 5.
So my goal first is to have conversations, which is, but the only way I'm going to do that is to make calls and drop a bunch of voicemails, okay? But those voicemails are actual, people will listen to them, and when they call me back, it's like multiple touches. So you want to look at this activity as a marketing activity at the end of the day. You may say, but I'm making all these calls and I'm not talking to anyone. That's because you're not looking at it as a marketing activity. You need to look at it as a marketing activity.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. The mailbox belonging to 908288746 is full. Please hang up.
Hang up. No answer. And resume. All right. So yeah, that was a no answer. Voicemail is full, right? So yeah, you just want to leave voicemails, and that process, that whole activity of even leaving voicemails is a marketing activity for you because you're creating exposure. Everything is exposure, everything. Okay, exposure is everything. Everything is exposure when it comes to your business. Because if you're not creating exposure, you're simply not making money. It doesn't make sense. It's not going to make money. Okay, if you're not doing exposure. So think of your quote unquote cold call as you're missing out on marketing when you're not doing it. Okay, you're missing out on marketing when you're not doing it. Okay, so let's go on to the next slide over here. Let's talk about the next thing on the slide. Next, the third type of exposure is I want to talk about. It's called missed calls. Okay, so on your cell phone, right? On your cell phone, you have recent calls, you have missed calls, you have voicemails, right? You'll notice that your missed calls are shown in red if you're using an iPhone like myself. Okay.
Please leave your message for
Just drop this
908-906-0441.
So you will notice that you have recent calls is in red, missed calls is in red. Recent calls, not if you know recent calls is not always in red. Yes, hi. Can I speak to Renee, please?
Who?
Renee Rodriguez?
No, this is the wrong number.
Wrong number, thank you. So anytime I get a wrong number, we'll trash it, and keep it moving. All right. Will that count as a contact? No. So the wrong number doesn't count as. Okay. I need to be consistent on that, by the way. All right. So, as I was saying, right? Recent call, missed calls, voicemails, right? An actual conversation will show up as a recent call, right? So that's much more valuable, right? That's a contact. It's 2 points. A missed call is people actually see that number and they call back. Okay, so even if you don't leave a voicemail, let's for example, there's no answers. If the phone actually rang, it shows as a missed call, and that's additional touches for your business. Okay, the more touches you have in your business that you create in your business, right, the more money you're gonna make. That's flat out very, very simple. Eventually, after you start making some money, you can take all the money you're making, you can divide that by the amount of touches you created in your business, amount of encounters, amount of voicemails, right? Amount of actual conversations. You can divide it and have an actual. That's a fax machine. Fax machine. We're gonna delete that and trash that forever, so we don't ever have to see that number again. All right, that's gonna happen. The number, the skip tracers, or they pull up every number they can see attached to that person's name, okay, including fax numbers. Okay, but this is how we find out by making this call, right? So, like I was saying, you can actually divide the total amount of money you made. Let's say you made $10,000 that month, and you made 20,000 calls.
You have reached 856-404-49130. Sorry, this mailbox is full.
Full voicemail. No trash. No answer. We're gonna call that no answer because we can still call later on in the future. So let's say you made 20,000 calls, right? And $10,000 you made, right? 10,000 divided by 20,000, right? That's about 50 cents. There's an actual dollar amount attached to every single call that was made. That's how you do math in the real business world. That's how you attach a value. So you know that every call, eventually you know that every time you make a call, you just made 50 cents. Every time you leave a voicemail,
your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. The mailbox belonging to 908688739 is full. Please hang up.
Hang up. No answer. Right? You will, every time you leave a voicemail, you can actually have an actual dollar amount attached to that voicemail, and you can say every time I leave a voicemail, I make this much money, right? And you can literally design a predictable business by doing so. Does that make sense? You can literally.
You have reached the voicemail box of 85639290066.
Drop the voicemail right there. Next call is for Lily Mora. All right. So you can literally have an actual dollar amount attached to each voicemail, each lead that you generate in your business, each call, and that's how you predict. But before you close your first deal, you will not have that number, because if you quit before you hit your first deal, right, and then you're dividing $0 by all these calls, and you know, you're pretty much your failure, because you never got that first deal. But once you hit your first deal, you're now a success. You're now in the top 5% of the game, because most people will never get to their first deal. Okay. I've done my 42nd deal, okay, over time. And that's because because I wasn't focused on wholesaling and real estate. I had other businesses. But after 1, 2, 3 deals, I mean, it's just a matter of a game and just going through the numbers. Okay, it's a numbers game at the end of
Call
the day.
has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system. 90851408221 is not available. The mailbox is full and cannot accept any messages.
So you tell me that right away, man. You don't answer. All right. On to the next call. All right. So if you don't close your first deal, that's the only time you can consider yourself a failure, if you never close a deal. But if you close that first deal, now you have a dollar amount attached to every call, every letter, every second you spent on this business. There's a dollar amount attached to it. And it's a matter of deciding which one of those resources, either mailing or phone or your time spent calling, the voicemail.
Please leave your message for 201
You can decide.
99995. Sorry, mailbox is full. To send an SMS.
Okay, no answer. Mailbox is full. Resume. So it looks like somebody may have sent a text message in. Let's see what that is. All right, so somebody says, I'm busy at the moment. Please text me. See, that's another touch. Okay, so I didn't even put that as a category. People are going to text you and say, please text me. I'm busy at the moment. Now you've created an encounter. Okay, and you can literally either choose to send them a web page, or you can choose to, hey, when's a good time to talk? I was wondering if I can search through my Vortex here, which is my database system, and see who this person is, what property it is, see if it's listed, and engage them a little bit more. Okay, I can do that. We also have some voiceless ringtones, some what do you call it, voiceless ringtone messaging, something like that, VRM, that my brother is setting up as well too, that we've gotten a lot of return calls from, that we're going to be calling back those people as well too, and create more engagement with them as we go, So it's a fun activity, but more importantly, I want you to think of it as marketing activity. And it's probably more aggressive than anything else that you have out there, because you're actually reaching out. Okay, the fear for most people come from I'm cold calling, I don't want to be cursed out. Why? You shouldn't be worried about that. Okay, you should really never be worried about that. If you have a script, use the script until you get comfortable. I don't use scripts anymore now because I'm comfortable. But you can start with a script. It's a system, okay, and follow that until you get comfortable, until you
your call has been
learn
forwarded
your own
to an
way of
automatic voice
having these
message
conversations.
system. 84899929997 is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
All right, we just dropped that. So we've been on right now again for another 19 minutes so far. 15 leads have been called, 29 calls has been made, 8 voicemails have been left, okay? And we have 37 points in the score, okay? Remember what I told you earlier? For every 30 minutes, you get 10 points. which I missed out on because on the other time because there was we got caught up at 19 minutes, right? But it doesn't matter. It's just a way to measure. Okay, we set smart goals.
Gordon, Shirley, and Raymond Felder. The tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
So before I forget, let me just tell you about the voicemail. With this system that I'm using, right? Somebody is calling back, okay? Return calls is inevitable. I'm going to send them to voicemail, okay? Now call them back, because I don't want them to interrupt the session, all right? Voicemail, the way the voicemail works is that we record the voicemail one time. Voicemail simply says, hey, I was calling about your property. I was wondering if you're looking to sell. Please call me back if you're looking to sell your property. I'm a local real estate investor. Call me back. So it's very generic, and I leave that voicemail automatically. It's left on people's phone number. Okay, that's the way it works. Okay, it's automatically left on people's voicemails. Okay, when I click leave a voicemail.
Hello.
Yes, hello. Can I speak to Mr. Mrs. Felder?
This is Gordon.
Hi, Gordon. How are you? I'm calling about your property in Roselle, 1032.
Yeah.
Is that Irvington Street, right? It's Irvington Street, right?
Rivington Street.
Oh, Rivington. I thought I was a misspelling. I thought I was a misspelling. I'm calling. Are you considering selling it?
What's your name?
My name is Ola.
Ola?
Yes, that's my name. So I was wondering, are you considering selling the property?
I mean, there's always an opportunity.
Oh, okay. What?
It's all about the numbers.
Tell me the story. What's going on with the property? It's popping up on a pre-foreclosure list.
It's popping up on the pre-foreclosure list.
Yes.
Not right.
Mm-hmm. As of March 1st.
And okay, and you got my number how?
We have systems that pull up the numbers here. Depending on where you have your numbers publicly.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Look, let's do this. It's my father's house.
Okay.
So I obviously would have to talk to him.
Okay.
But is this your number? 732-309-3834?
Yes, absolutely. This is my phone number, and you can call me directly anytime. And I would like to talk about the property, definitely. And I want to set it up so I can read. Is it okay if I follow? If I don't hear from you, if I follow up in about a week with you?
Absolutely. Give me a call by Monday.
All right.
Give me a call on Monday. You don't have to wait a whole week. Give me a call on Monday.
On Monday.
Right, if you don't hear from me.
All right, Mr. Felder. Thank you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Bye. All right. So that was a contact. Okay. I'm going to set a call back. He wants me to call him back on Monday. I'm going to set a call back set to Monday. What's today? Today is Tuesday. So I'm going to call him on Monday on the 26th. So I'm going to set that up for 12 noon. And he wants me to call him at this number. And it looks like they may want to get rid of it. So I'm actually going to leave a note once. This is the son. Wants me to call back on Monday, 3/26. So again, this sounds really good. Okay, I was pretty natural with the way I spoke to him. I wasn't afraid to tell him that this house popped up on the pre-foreclosure list. Okay, I asked him the first question I asked him is a question that won't have somebody get defensive or front. Are you considering selling? Anybody would not take an offense to that question. They either say yes or no. And then if they say, hey, depends on the numbers, then okay, what's going on? Tell me the story. What's going on with the property? It's popping up on a pre-foreclosure list, right? And it's very, very simple. Okay. And so now I have a strong, and I set it as a high priority on a callback list, and we'll call it back on Monday. Okay. And we're going to resume into our conversation again, right? So pretty cool, right? So that happened in 24 minutes. Okay. And right at this junction, I want to talk to you again. I was talking earlier about if you quit before hitting your first deal, that's the only time you can consider it a failure. If you never quit, you're not a failure. Okay. The only people that fail in life uh, are quitters. Okay. Those are the only people that fail. If your numbers are falling short, as long as you don't quit, you're not a failure because you don't know that unless you actually stop working. Okay. So 24 minutes plus 19 minutes in, remember that call session failed at 19 minutes, and that at 19 minutes, people get discouraged for the least things. People get discouraged and say, it doesn't work. They just stop, right? They stop working. And I've done that too. I'm guilty too. That's something I can tell you that I'm comfortable telling you now that I've done such things before in the past. And it's not it's not nobody's immune against that. We've all done that at some point. We quit on ourselves. But that's the only thing that's equivalent to failure when you quit. Okay. But clearly I pick it up again. Right. And I'm here right
Please
now.
leave your message for 90859.
Let's leave the voicemail. This is the 10th voicemail. It's the 10th voicemail in the 25 minutes call. Okay. Yeah. Funny enough, it didn't set that one up as a contact, but it's an actual contact. Oh, you know what? I forgot to set it as a contact. And that was Gordon, so I'll put it up later and set it up as a contact. It's an actual contact. All right. Let me see here. See if I can. All right. All right. So let's keep it moving. Doesn't matter. Keep it moving.
Please leave your message for 90842230444.
All right. Drop that voicemail. All right. So that's the thing. We have to keep going no matter what. Okay. So I was saying earlier. So voicemail is dropped that way, and sorry about that, guys. 1 second. Let me just see here. Sorry about that. I had to get the boy to go away. All right. So let's see here. Why paused? No, we're still dialing. Actually, we're dialing all along. Calling 3 numbers for Marisa. 2 no answers. Calling the last one. All right. So in 27 minutes, 16 leads. My son just came here trying to bother me after I told him to not come back until 6 p.m. But I told him to go away, right? But all that while the dialer is going, okay? So the second type of encounter, we've talked about voicemails. The more voicemails you leave out there, the better. So with that being said, shall we go on to the next slide here? What is the next slide? Return calls, okay? Return calls, okay? So again, we're talking about creating exposures, touches, and encounters, okay? Encounter is an actual contact, okay? And I stole that word from the medical field, okay? Every encounter, either a voice or, sometimes when a doctor make an order for, or create an order for a patient, even without the patient being there, if they create an order like a medication reorder, a medication reorder or something like that, or a medication refill, every time, because I consult in the medical field as well. Every time they make a refill, it's considered an encounter in certain people's workflow, right? And same thing here. You want to treat your business like you're a medical doctor because you're bringing solution to the marketplace for these people. So return calls. Every time somebody return a call to you, right? I'm giving you only 4.
Please leave your message for Mark Levinson.
Mark Levinson? Sounds like a wrong number. But I'm going to leave my voicemail. All right, so that sounds like a wrong number based on what I'm looking at on the screen, but I still leave the voicemail anyway because you never know the number you call could actually have a random property somewhere looking to sell. Again, you want to look at this as a marketing activity for your business, regardless. Okay, regardless if you actually create a deal with actual conversation during your call session, think about every voicemail being left, every contact being created, every leads being called, every call's being made, right? Every contact, every appointment, think about it as a marketing opportunity. And it only gets better. The more deals you close, it gets better. Because think about viral social media, viral activity, right? You create a new success story, and that success story can go out there and bring you more businesses. It's the same thing, okay? So here we have, I've shown you return call, missed call, voicemail.
20131401991 is full and cannot accept new messages at this time. Please.
All right, also it's full, and I'm gonna say no answer, so we can call it back in the future. All right, so think about every single one of this as an encounter, but I've had it return calls and missed calls, okay? But actually, according to my thing here, return call and missed call, because that's what shows on people's phone, okay, on their phone. When they actually miss your call and they didn't pick it up, or maybe they missed the voicemail, it shows up as a missed call. And most people call them, I mean, some people, I don't know if it's most.
Call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 90864442072 is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
All right.
Call has been forwarded to an automated voice
Another
message
voicemail back to back.
Sharonda Drew.
Well, that doesn't sound
available.
like the right number, but I'm going to leave the
At the
voicemail
tone,
anyway.
please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
So that name that just came on that voicemail didn't sound like the name I'm looking at on the screen, but I still leave a voicemail because you just never, because my voicemail is an actual marketing message. Hey, I was just wondering if you're looking to sell your property.
Hello?
Yes, hi. Can I speak to Mr. or Mrs. Solozano?
I think this is the wrong number.
Wrong number. Thank you.
Yep.
So that's the wrong number. I'm going to trash that number and to never call that number ever again, right? Yes. Okay. And we'll resume the call session again. All right. So in 32 minutes, we've had 21 leads called, 45 calls made. Okay. As I'm talking to you, money has been created. Okay. One contact. I've only made one contact, right? Which was the one that we set a call back. But how come I'm saying money is being made? Because this is the activity that leads to the money, okay? 14 voicemails, marketing messages out there on actual people's voicemails, okay? And yes, hi. Can I speak to Mr. Solozano?
Solano?
Yes.
No, it's wrong number. This is Volonto Segundo Game.
All right, thank you. So completely wrong number for this lead, thanks to RedX. Okay, so that's gonna happen sometimes, and it doesn't matter. Okay, we're gonna delete this number for life. Delete this number for life. Yes, and that's the last number. All the numbers are wrong. That's gonna happen, right? Yes. And no, that's not a contact. And we're gonna resume. All right, so we're calling this misplacing clerk, right? So as I was saying, my score is 73 right now. Okay, one callback setup. So based on all of this, leads, calls made, contacts, appointment sets, which is 0 so far, right? And voicemails, callback set. All of these are dispositions, encounters, and each one of them count towards creating serious profits in your wholesaling, real estate, consulting, any type of business. Okay, and something you absolutely must embrace. Yes, can I speak to Sandra Lopez, please?
Excuse me?
Can I speak to Sandra Lopez?
You have the wrong number.
Thank you. So another wrong number. We'll trash it. Sometimes the system will pick up numbers from agencies that have listed the property in the past. It's no big deal. Just say, okay, wrong number and move on to the next. Okay. It's a numbers game. As you can see, it's a numbers game. And that's all you have to just keep going. Just keep going is really the key here, and consistency. Don't do one call session and then say, hey, it doesn't work. You know, it doesn't work like that. Okay. If everybody like if it was easy to just make one call and close the next deal, everybody will be doing it, right? But obviously, it's simple, but it's not easy. Okay, and the part that's not easy there is the consistency. Is to keep going when it's almost in the beginning. It seems very difficult in the beginning. It's like an exponential curve, right? It seems very difficult in the beginning. Why? Because it's supposed to be difficult, because if it was easy, everybody else would be doing it, and if everybody else was doing it, then it creates more competition for you, the winner. You're gonna have everybody looky loose trying to do it, and it messes up. But because the winners always stick it through, it seems like overnight success. Once you start becoming successful, it will seem that way, but nobody knows that 90 minutes every day that you're just pounding it and just sitting there waiting for someone to pick up, and you're leaving all those voicemails, and you're making 48 calls within 36 minutes, right? Calling 23 leads within 36 minutes, right? Leaving 14 voicemails. Nobody saw that, right? They didn't see that. And the gurus typically leave this part out too. They leave this part out, and they make it seem like every call you're going to make is going to be a conversation or a deal for that matter. And then you get disappointed when you get there, typically, right? You get disappointed when you get there, typically. So one of the things I noticed right here, I forgot to click resume. I was going to say resume. Forgot to click resume. Every time I have to put a disposition manually, like hang up manually, I have to resume it myself, because the thing is thinking I may want to add a note, a comment, or something like that. So I got to get used to that. All right. So yeah. So the what I'm looking. This is the last two on this list: missed calls and return calls. It's not part of the things that my dialer measures. Okay. It's not part of the things that my dialer measure, because it can't see it, because sometimes calls can get lost in the middle of a network. So we can't assume that they actually see a missed call or return call, but we know they do. Okay, that's why I'm showing that to you as an extra here. The first one, conversation, which is a contact, and voicemail is actually being recorded, okay, on your voice dialer, and you can see that. And but also it's also counting how many calls was actually made, how many leads were called, right? And it's counting it's counting how many callback appointments did you set, how many appointments did you set, right? It's counting all of that, and those are all things that you should be excited about every time you leave one. Okay, right. So let's talk about resource management real quick. Okay, let's talk about resource management. Okay, there are several
Please
different.
leave your message for 908-499-0431.
Let's see. With that voicemail, it's the 15 voicemail right there. All right. So we hit 80. Our scores hit 80 points already. All right. So we're calling Fanwood right now. Calling Fanwood is a property that was put on the pre-foreclosure list on February 28th. List price is showing $512,000. Okay. And let me click into Zillow. Let's see what's up with this house. The estimate for this house is $454, and they want $512. Who knows why, right?
Al escuchar el tono, favor de grabar su mensaje. Cuando termine de grabar, puede colgar o oprimir el signo de libra para más opciones.
Got the voicemail. So even though it's Spanish on the voicemail, I still leave it anyway. Somebody may have a son, a daughter around, and say, "Hey, can you listen to this? What are they saying?" You can say that in any language among all the thousands of languages around the world, and you still secure a deal. You never know. I leave the voicemail anyway. Okay.
Hello?
Hello, can I speak to Michael Andrews, please?
Hello?
Yes. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm trying to speak to Michael Andrews.
Oh, I think that you have the wrong number.
All right, thank you.
Nobody was here.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Bye-bye. All right, so let's hang up. Wrong number. Now, here's something I'm thinking right now. Before I hang up next time as we move on to the future, I will say, do you live at the address? I'll give them the address. I'll say, hey, I was trying to reach out to the landlord. Can you give me the phone number for the landlord? Again, I should take it a little bit further like that. So I'm going to remember that for the next time I make a call and somebody says the wrong number. Okay. I'll say, hey, I was calling about this property. Do you know anything about the property? It's all good questions. Just ask more questions. And by the way, each additional question you learn how to ask in your business create additional exposure for you, because obviously that person, an average human being, will feel obligated to answer you. And every additional minute you're in front of people, you're creating additional exposure for your business as well too. Okay, so I want you to think about that very deeply. What I just said. Each additional questions that you can ask creates additional exposure.
You have reached the Sprint voicemail box of 973.
So now we're creating additional exposure with the voicemail. Right? It's all about exposures. Exposure. We got one more line to call with Michael Andrews. Let's see what happens. All right. So each additional question you ask from potential prospects, contacts, encounters, create additional exposure for your business. Okay, each additional second or minute you get to.
Hello, this is Paula. No one is here. I'm going to take your call. So send me a message. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Bye.
Beep beep. That's a long one, right? A long beep. All right, so right now I'm calling. This number looks familiar. It looks like this person may have called back at once upon a time. Yes, can I speak to Gussie Parker?
Oh, you got the wrong number. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was calling about a property at Johnston Avenue in Plainfield. Do you know anything about that? Yeah, hung up. Yeah. So wrong number. I'm gonna call it. So the person hung up. That hurts. I'm butt hurt about that. But nope, I wasn't. Delete that number and no. On to the next. Resume. All right. So yeah, I mean, you just gotta keep going and keep going and keep going and just creating encounters, creating touches, creating exposure. Okay. So let's see here. Let's see.
Hello.
Yeah, hi. Can I speak to Gussie Parker?
Who's calling, please?
My name is Ola, and I'm calling about a property at Johnston Avenue in Plainfield.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. Are you Gussie's wife or somebody?
I am Gussie. How can I help you?
Oh, you're Gussie. Okay. Hi. I'm calling about it. I was wondering if you're considering selling that property right now.
At this very moment?
Mm-hmm.
No, but I will in a couple of months.
Oh, in a couple of months. Oh, okay. Well, why are you selling in a couple of months? Why not now?
That's kind of personal.
Oh, okay. I can respect that, but the property is popping up on a pre-foreclosure list. Did you know about that?
I do, since I am physically in the house.
You're physically, I know, but yeah, of course, it's a pre-foreclosure. It's not foreclosure. It's a pre-foreclosure. So I
understand. So are you looking to buy?
Absolutely. I'm looking to buy, and I would like to have a conversation about that if you're open.
Okay. Well, I can take your name and number. and I can talk to my attorneys about this.
Oh, you want to talk to your attorney about selling?
I can take your name and number, and I can give you a call back.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. My number is 732-309.
Hold on. 732.
309. 3834.
3834. Okay, and what's your name? The spelling of your name, please?
OLA. Ola.
Okay, and is that your first or last name?
That's my nickname. You could call me that. And then.
What? You don't think I can pronounce your full name?
No, it's not that. But that's what I go by. That's what I go by. Once we're ready to close a deal, you will have my full name. How about that?
Yeah, that sounds fine.
Right. So tell me, do you think it's you guys are seriously considering selling it?
Yes.
Okay. So tell me the story. What's going on with it? Is it something you wanted to talk about for maybe a minute?
No, not really. I'm in the middle of something right now.
Okay. Give me a call back. I'm definitely serious about buying this property. I'm a local investor in Plainfield, so reach out back to me and let's talk about it, and then we'll work it out. We'll see what we can do. It is showing up in the pre-foreclosure, and that's really a non-factor. But I'm sure you guys, if you guys are considering selling, then it's something we can definitely work out.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay, so what's your angle on this? Because you're looking for things to buy very quickly.
Yes.
And how would I benefit from selling it to you like right away?
I mean, it depends on what you want, and it depends on quite a few. I would like to collect a few information about the property, and then we can determine that.
Okay, so let me talk to my attorney, and I'll get back to you.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't do deals unless it's a win-win. So I just don't. Okay.
Of course.
Yeah. But when you say you wanted to talk to your attorney, I was wondering, like, what is your attorney? I mean, unless we're closing the deal, then you can bring your attorney to help you close the deal. Why do you need to talk to your attorney about that?
Well, wouldn't you be talking to your attorney about this?
Yeah, when I'm ready to close a deal, but not to negotiate, though. My attorney doesn't get involved unless I'm ready to close a deal.
Yeah, well, I'd like to be advised, so
I'd
like to make an educated decision.
Well, in the meanwhile, can we collect some information and see, if it's something we're interested in, so you don't waste your time if it's not a deal?
No, I'll get back to you.
All right, get back to me. Who's Gavin? That's husband?
That's my husband.
Okay. Yeah, get back to me. You can keep my number. Actually, you can refer me to anybody. I'm looking to buy heavy in the neighborhood, so definitely reach out to me if anybody is looking to sell, including yourself. I'm always open here. Okay.
Okay. I'll get back to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye. All right. You guys see that was a call. That was a hell of a call. She had a little bit of a fence up, but not bad. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set a call back on this one. I'm going to set the call back for next week. How about that? Right? We're going to follow up every week on the 27th, okay, until you just never know. So I'm going to say here, I'm going to say 1 week follow up. Want to talk to attorney. Now, if somebody wants to talk to attorney, it's not exactly non-motivated, but it's still a level of not motivated, okay? Because number one, attorney doesn't help you. Attorney helps you protect you once you decide you want to do a deal. They protect your rights. They don't make a decision for you. They're gonna essentially help you extract your own decision out of you, okay? So, but it's still a sign that they're not there. They're not motivated. It looks like they just got a. It looks like she just got a pre-foreclosure notification on. It was just filed on February 27th. So they're probably 3 months behind. So there's no real stress there yet. But the goal here is we set it on our calendar here, and We'll make it high priority. We'll continue to talk to them over time. So I'm going to set a callback time for the 327 and follow up every week unless she tells me, hey, stop calling. Then I will stop calling. Okay. That's pretty much what I would do. Okay. But right now I'm just saying apply, and I'll put that in the notes there, and then we're going to go ahead and I have a feeling, I think this person may be already reached back out from a voiceless ringtone before. All right, so somebody is calling back. I'm going to send them to voicemail. I'm going to continue our call here as usual. Okay, so 49 minutes in, 27 leads called, 59 calls made. That was a contact. I don't know why it's not recorded as a contact. But yeah. 29 calls made, appointments. So we set 2 callback sets. Okay. We set 2 callback. You see how many points is a callback? It's a 1 point. Interesting. Okay. A 91 points scored. All right. So let's keep going here. Let's keep going.
Sorry, the person you were trying to reach has a voicemail box that has not been set up yet. Please try your call again later. Goodbye.
All right, so that's a hang up. That's a hang up, no answer. On to the next. Resume. This one is calling it last 4 digits 3000. That looks like an office number. But we don't prejudge. Just FYI, you don't prejudge.
Recorded for quality and training purposes.
There you go. It's a business center. That's a business that you just called. We don't prejudge. We just still talk to them anyway. Okay. Just never know. Something pulls up somebody's number, maybe their business.
Thank you for calling Bayada Home Healthcare. Our next representative will be right with you.
Home Healthcare. Now I'm supposed to wait on the line. How about I wait 1 minute? And if they don't come on, I wait 20 more seconds. I've just reduced it 10 seconds.
Thank you for holding. Good afternoon. We had a home health care. It's Barnes speaking.
Hi, I was trying to speak to David Montes.
Well, this is the answering service. Their office is closed. I'd be happy to take a message for you if you like.
Oh, no thanks. Thank you very much. All right, so I'm gonna delete that number for life. That's not a personal number. No, I just always try. You never know. All right, and then we're gonna resume our session as usual. Okay. All right. So where are we? I think we were on the first of resources. We're about to talk about the resources, resource management, and how this is applicable to what we're doing here. Okay. There's about 7 different comparisons that I want to make on this one. Let's go back here. And the first one is time versus money. Okay. Talk about time versus money. So you can either have time.
You have reached the voicemail box of 201-889-8276. At the tone, please record your voice message. When you are finished recording, you may hang up or press pound for more options.
We dropped that voicemail. So you can either have time or you have money. Okay. You cannot not have both. Okay. Imagine you can lack both.
Laura speaking.
Yes. I was. Can you hear me? Hello. Hello. All right. So this person hung up anyway, and it looks like the home is Westfield Holdings or something like that. You know what? I'm gonna redial. It looks like the person was looking to talk, and they probably didn't hear me quick enough. So I'm redialing it. So that's an option.
Laura speaking.
Yes, hi. I was trying to talk to the owner of Westfield Avenue 147, Roselle Park.
Is here today? Can I take your message?
Yes, my name is Ola. And I'm calling from 732-309-3834. I'm interested in purchasing the property on 147 West Westfield Avenue.
Give me 1 second, please. 1 second.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes, hi.
Hi, can I help you, sir?
Yes, I was calling about West Wellsfield Avenue in Roselle Park.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I was trying to find out if you guys are considering selling that property.
Yeah, I mean, so I can take down your information. Our management team, nobody is in today, but I can take down your phone number and I can pass it down to them and you can speak to them.
Okay, yeah, I'd like to do that.
Okay, sure. You are from the town? We are from the same town or you are somewhere from Jersey? Where are you from?
I am from Woodbridge, New Jersey.
Woodbridge, okay.
Yes.
Okay. What's your name, sir?
My name is Ola, O-L-A,
Mm-hmm.
and it's 732
Mm-hmm.
309
Mm-hmm.
3834.
3834. And where did you find about our property sale?
Well, it's showing up on the pre-foreclosure list.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I wanted to know if you guys are considering selling it. If that's the case, I'm very interested.
Sure, no problem. I'm going to pass it on to somebody and then they can get back to you.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're most welcome, sir.
Bye. All right. So I'm going to set, let's see, that's a good number. Yes. And I'd like to set that as callback set. Set that out. I'm going to follow up with that in 1 week. So follow up is a big part of all of this, just so you know. Okay. You should set follow-ups. Okay. You know, the more encounter you have with people, they remember you and call them back. You know, so it says Realty Holdings is a company that owns it. Well, you just never know. It could just be somebody who created an LLC. We don't really know what they're doing, you know, and just don't prejudge. Like I said, don't prejudge. Just keep going. Okay. So let's see here. We're going on to the next person to call the next person here. All right, we're almost there. We're almost there. Getting close. Getting close. All right. So time versus money. Okay, you either have time, you have money, or you have both. You cannot say you're lacking both. Okay, if you're lacking money, chances are you have some time in your hands. Okay, or at the very minimum, you can create time. Okay, so my question for you is, it costs a lot of money for direct mailing. Okay, to send 100 pieces of mail every week, that's about $50. Okay, at the minimum. Okay, if you want to do like a more mass scale, it costs like it just goes bigger from there. And if you want to reach, you want to do it at momentum, you want to be sending at least 100 per week to create some momentum. And the honest truth is that the response rate on direct mail is going lower and lower because of obvious reasons. Attention span is a lot lower in history, you know, at all-time low. And it's your responsibility to use your resource and manage your resources. And I think one of the biggest resources you can have is in business. Okay, let's call in this number again. Let's see here. All right, I think one of the biggest resources you have in business in general is time, you know, and it doesn't have to be your time. It could be other people's time. That means you hire somebody to make these calls, okay, to sit down by a phone, by a dialer, and just make these calls, right? For me, I'm leveraging that time to create.
Sorry, the person you are trying to reach has a voicemail box that has not been set up yet. Please try your call again later. Goodbye.
Not set up. There you go. Let's say no answer. Okay, and resume. All right. So for me,
thank you for calling Locksmith Service. If this is an emergency, please press 1. To schedule an appointment, press 2. All other callers, please press 3. Thank you.
That's the doctor's office. I'm going to delete that number for life. The doctor's office. I'll resume. All right. So we just went over 102 points in the score. All right. So let's keep going here. So that could be a milestone you could set for yourself. So you could say, hey, I need 100 points every day. That for me right now, that just took 59 minutes, right? And you can say, once I hit 100, I'll move on to other things. I'll go eat. I just want to. You could set that up for yourself. For me, it's 90 minutes per day, no matter what the score is. So I'm only an hour and 20 minutes in right now, 25 minutes, right? And we've done. I'm going to show you that number at the end of this session, right? Okay. And by the way, not finishing the slides today is okay. We have additional 7. We have 7 additional sessions to go with this, and plus, this is a money-making activity for me. Plus, I'm creating content. This is only going to get better. So, and I think I've found a really, really cool thing here that I'm going to be using for a long time. Okay, I think I found something really, really cool. All right, so let's see here. So time versus money we were talking about. So time, you can, just like you can use other people's money in business, you can also use other people's, you can also leverage other people's time. And how do you do that? Hello? Let's see here, it's dialing. It's dialing somebody. All right, so typically somebody will say hello when they pick up their phone. That's typically, okay? So no answer right there. All right, so you don't have to worry about people listening without saying hello first. Some weird people do that sometimes, but that's not typical. Okay. All right. So when you use other people's time, that means you hire people and you build a team, and then you have them make these calls and do certain activities in your business that maybe you don't necessarily enjoy. Let's say you don't enjoy cold calling, you don't enjoy sitting and waiting or anything like that. Then you can hire somebody to do this. Okay. So in that sense, you're investing time and money, but you're investing money into other people's time. So that will still categorize. That will be under the category of money, investing in money. So somebody just left me a voicemail. I think another text. So somebody says, "Hello, it's Mrs. Parker. I will reach out to you soon." What I tell you, okay? Now we're getting messages and text messages from people who want to reach out to us. Isn't that pretty cool? Right? That's pretty cool, right?
Call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
So there's a voicemail about to
908-400-9021 is not available. The mailbox is full and cannot accept any messages at this time. Goodbye.
And say no answer. We're gonna call that no answer. I mean, this is the biggest asset you have in your business is a list. Okay, it's a list, and then the only thing that may be above that is the relationship you build with that list, which is why we keep track. You need to use a proper CRM system that allows you to keep track of the encounters you're having with people. Okay, and this is a very, very beautiful thing. Okay, your business. It's a beautiful thing in your business. All right, so. Let's see here. Let's keep going. Loving it so far. All right, we gotta resume this. All right. So, time versus money. So you either have time. So if all you've got is time, let's say you're broke, or you feel like you're broke because that's a state of mind too, and you feel like you can't really come up with the money, then you can at least come up with $100 to invest in $1. Okay, and then maybe $40 to populate it with a list, right? With the numbers put already, and then you have a flat fee of $140 to build a 6 or 7 figure business, okay, from home. This is very easy, okay? And you set that up, and then now the rest of it that you have to invest is time. And what do I mean by time? Just 90 minutes per day, 5 days a week, right? And you could go a little bit more aggressive if you want to, because there's more. It's going to be more than enough numbers to call, And then as you go, you will have follow-up. So for example, starting tomorrow, I'm actually going to start with my follow-ups first before I go on to anything else. Okay, I will start with my follow-up, which means return people I need to return calls to before I go on to anything. Because again, additional touch increases the value of each contact that you have in your business. Okay, so back to what I was saying, the resources you have available, you can either look at it as time versus money. Okay, and if you invest money, it's going to take you a lot more touches to get to the money. Okay, if you invest time, you're looking at it right in your face. You can just simply sit down there and just let the time wind away as you're doing the active thing that you're supposed to do in your
Please leave your message for Bennett Chihuahua.
All right, let me drop that last voicemail. All right, so I dropped that last voicemail. I'm gonna pause right here. I'm gonna actually end this. So we in just think about this for a second. Hang up. Hang up. Okay, make sure. All right, so in 1 hour, 4 minutes on the second session that we jump on, uh, I think we did 37 leads. We called 37 leads. 78 calls were made. Only 2 contacts. Okay, there were about three not contacts, but 3. 1 contact, 3 callback appointments were set. Okay, meaning I can call back later. The 20 voicemails that were left in that 1 hour. Okay, and 123 points. Okay, I'm gonna end the session. I'm gonna go look in my pause. Okay, that was my phone ended when I ended the session, and then now I can share the screen. Okay, this is the kind of screen I can share with you now. How about that? So we're gonna continue with this session. We're on slide number 5. We're gonna continue with this next time. Okay, so let me share my screen with you. That was fun, right? 90 minutes of marketing. Yeah, I love it. I think it's the best piece of content we can possibly have for this channel. And I'm really considering just keeping it going like this. Considering it every. Let's see here. Share screen. And then we're gonna go to. Here you go. I need to share the scores with you so far. Okay. And I'm gonna have a. There you go. All right. Oh, okay. So you can see my screen right now. Okay. So let's see. All right. So I need to let me see by the day. Let's close this. I may have to refresh the page. Let me refresh. Okay. So this is called the Red X. If you want to support my business, use my link. I'm still waiting for their link so you can sign up and you can start doing this on your own and you can start building your business too. And let's see here. Okay, we have a better data. I think we do, right? Do we? Yeah, we do. Okay. So in total, since I started this session, okay, in total, since I started this session, I've made 128 leads. We've called 128 leads. Okay, we still got, I don't know, 20, 2,500 plus to go. Okay. Made 275 different calls, had 14 contacts. Okay. Touches. Okay. All of these are touches. Voicemails, 81 voicemails out there. Set callback. That means somebody that I spoke to sound interested, but I need to follow up with them later, maybe a week later. There's 5 different ones I've set up, and it's about 4 hours in total. Okay, so 14 contacts. Okay, 14 contacts. How many has turned to appointment? None yet. Okay, none yet. Okay, now should I keep going? You betcha. Okay, because I'm getting calls back. I have voicemails coming back and stuff like that. I have those coming back. As a matter of fact, let's see here. I wasn't supposed to show that screen. So let me go back to the screen. Let me go switch my screen back to. All right. So there's a couple of return calls that my brother received that he wants me to call back. So I'm thinking I should just do that right now because I was supposed to lead with that. But in the spirit of not postponing stuff, I think let me just get that done. I think there's about 10 leads in there, so I can just go ahead and knock that out real quick. And 2 expired in there. As a matter of fact, there are 2 expired listeners in there. 13 leads. Okay, about 13 leads in there. I'm actually going to try to call them right now. In the meanwhile, let's switch screens back to a slide. Maybe I can cover one more point on our resource management. Okay. Let's see here. Let's go Dow. Starting storm. Would you like to zoom it? No. I'm calling the separate one. So it's 32 numbers, 11 leads here to call. You're responsible for your own compliance. Only call mobile numbers if you have the appropriate consent. Are you sure you want to turn off the filter? Yes, telling everybody. Offering solution. So I'm gonna say go. And it's gonna call me. Actually, I'm returning call to those people, so because they responded to a voicemail.
Press 1 to continue.
All right. Dialing now. I'm dialing right now. Okay, this was an expired listing. Let's see. All right, so
but the person you called has a voicemail box that has not been set up yet.
Not set up voicemail. Hang up. No answer. On to the next. So we were talking about time versus money. Okay. I do both. Okay. When it comes to what I do personally, I invest both time and money. And my goal is to continue to, as I grow older, as I advance more in my career.
Hi, please leave a message and I will call you back at the earliest possible. Thank you.
Let's leave this voicemail real quick.
At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
On to the next. All right. So as I grow older, as I become more mature in business, in my career, I want to invest less and less of my time and then more and more money because I'll be making more money and I can invest more money, okay, into leveraging team members, leveraging automation, okay. What kind of dial tone is that? Sounds like a business. Yep. It's a fax machine. We're gonna delete that and I'm gonna trash that for life. Okay. And continue to the next one. All right. So I want to, eventually I want to invest less and less of my time, or at least my time to be spent on things I enjoy doing. Okay. This part of the activity here is okay, but it's not really exactly what I enjoy doing. Okay. But I enjoy teaching. So I found a way to position myself for consistency here by teaching as I'm making the calls along the way. Okay. So that's something that you can consider in your business. Find out what is it that you don't enjoy doing. If you don't have the money to outsource it yet, find a way that you can leverage and, let's see here. Find a way that you can position yourself for consistency in spite of the fact that you don't necessarily enjoy it. Okay. If you already concluded that, yeah, it's an activity that you need to do to make money in your business, then it simply needs to get done. Hello. Yes, I'm returning your call. You called us yesterday. You have a property at Woodbridge Avenue?
Yes.
Okay, you left me a voicemail yesterday. I think you were interested in selling.
What kind of property?
This is a property 2505 in Woodbridge Avenue. Do you own that?
Yes.
Okay. Are you looking to sell?
No.
Oh, okay. You left me a voicemail yesterday, and I thought maybe you were interested in selling.
I left you a voicemail.
Yes.
The voicemail came from me?
Yeah, from this number.
From this number, but not from me, though, right?
Yeah, maybe not from you. I'm not sure.
Was it a female's voice?
Is this a cell phone number I called? Is this a personal cell phone?
I own this cell phone, but I don't know who would have called you.
Oh, okay.
I own the place. It's my house.
Maybe it wasn't a voicemail. Maybe a missed call that I saw from you. Maybe you try to call a missed call back or something. Maybe that's what it was.
I'm definitely not selling my place.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for the misunderstanding, but I promise I'm not selling it.
And that's all right. It was on the market for a while, correct?
No, sir. I've been living here a very, very long time.
Oh, okay.
And it's not, I guess there's some kind of misunderstanding, but my property's not for sale.
Thank you so much.
Sorry about that.
No problem. All right. So not interested. We're gonna trash that completely. All right. So as you can see, maybe she saw maybe one of our voicemail systems dropped a message and she saw a missed call and she called back and she wasn't sure what it was. And then we picked it up. That's where that came from. So, but right now that number is not going to be called again. I've marked it as not interested. All right. So,
hello?
Yes, can I speak to Mary, please? Mary?
Mary Polidor?
Yes.
Okay.
Hi. I think you tried to call back yesterday. We were inquiring about your property in Clark.
Hold on. This is not her yet. No. Hello?
Yes, hi. Can you hear me?
Who is this?
Yeah, my name is Ola.
I can hear you. Who's this?
Yeah, my name is Ola. I think you tried to call back yesterday. I'm not sure if you saw a voicemail from us regarding your property in Clark.
No, no one called. Are you calling in regards to, is it the realtor?
I'm an investor. I'm primarily an investor. And I was interested in your property. Are you considering selling it?
No, not at all.
Not at all. Okay. Are you familiar with the
I'm working with the lawyer.
Oh, is with the lawyer for the pre-foreclosure?
Yeah.
Okay. I can understand.
How did you get my daughter's phone number?
It's a phone number. It's available. But it's not listed on
But it's my daughter's.
Oh, it's your daughter's? Okay, maybe because the systems pull them up somehow. So sorry about that anyway. Thank you for letting me know.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. So that's a situation that she said we called her daughter's number. The systems are that good. We'll pull up numbers as long as it's not marked as a do not call, on a do not call list, then we don't have to bother about that. So, but at least it wasn't much of a. She's not interested. I'm gonna mark it as not interested, and we're gonna keep it moving. Maybe the daughter saw a missed call. Okay, now I have to tell my brother this, and then But anyway, matter of fact, I can leave a note here for him to see. This is this daughter's line, not dealing with a lawyer. I'm not interested. So he can see this, and I don't have to explain myself over again. He can go look it up, because I'm not supposed to remember every lead, right? All right, so let's go on to the next one. I think we got, so each one of these calls they are time consuming, but what else in life is not really time consuming, right? Think about it. Especially if you're not making the kind of money you want to make, then you definitely should be leveraging the time that you have, because time is going to keep moving anyway. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, hi. Can I speak to Nelson, please? All right, so that was a hang up. That person hung up. I don't know why. Redal, it could have been a mistake, right? And we'll see if it was a mistake or not. If it's an actual hang up, we'll call it a day. Okay. All right, so as I was saying, let's see here. So this is what I'm going to do is every day I will make this call first, this follow-up calls before I go into.
Por favor, deje su mensaje para.
Okay, now we're hitting a voicemail. Leave that voicemail, and I left the voicemail. All right, voicemail. On to the next. So dialing the second number now. There's about 3 other numbers to dial for this particular one lead. Okay, so that's something you should pay mind to. You know, time versus money. We're talking about time versus money. So you either have time to invest or you have money. You can't tell me you don't have either. Okay. For me personally, I do a hybrid of both at this stage in my career. I just have to prioritize my time. There are some things that are really money making activity, and there's some things that are not. Okay, and I try to not spend my time.
Please leave your message for.
And
Linda.
all right, this person, I don't know what that is. The voicemail. On to the next. All right. So as you can also see, I enjoy teaching, like I said earlier, and I use this moment. I use it as teachable moment. I use it as teachable teaching opportunity. To explain what's going on in my mind as I go through this call. So for you, it may be just a downtime. You may have other things you're doing on the side that you enjoy. And once somebody comes online and say hello, you just say hello.
Hello?
Yes, hi. Can I speak to Nelson, please?
Hello?
Nelson?
Who you want to talk to?
Nelson. All right, so that's a hang up. It looks like it's the wrong number. I'm going to mark it as the wrong number. And somebody's was trying to call back just now. We don't know what that is. We'll find out later on, right? So right now we're calling Orchard Street in Elizabeth. Orchard Street in Elizabeth.
Hello?
Yes, hi. Can I speak to Manuel or Catalina?
They're not available. I'm their son.
Oh, you're their son? I was calling about the property in Orchard Street in Elizabeth. Can you have them call me back and tell them I'm interested in buying the property?
That is not under our name. We don't own the house no more.
Oh, you sold it?
The realtor still has it.
Oh, the realtor did what?
The retailer should be doing all that. We really do nothing with that house.
But do your parents still own it? Do they still own it?
No, they don't own it. We do nothing with the house. The house is completely vacant. So I don't know what's going on with it.
That's what I'm looking to buy. So can you have your parents call me back?
Well, they don't have the information. You're gonna have to contact the retailer. We don't have any contact with the house. We don't know what's going on with the house. Nothing.
I can find all that information if they're interested in selling. If it's still on their name.
It's not on their name.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. No problem. Bye.
Mm-hmm. All right. So I'm going to say I'm looking at the auction date for February 10, 2016. So yes, there's a very good chance that property is done. It was previously sold or something like that. So I'm going to mark it as that so we don't have to ever call that number again. Probably a good reason why they were trying to call back. They saw a missed voicemail yesterday or something. Yeah. So right now we're calling. So we called the 5th lead. 11th call made so far. 3 contacts, 3 voicemails.
Hello?
Yeah, can I speak to Ricardo, please?
Ricardo?
Yeah, Ricardo Montes.
Who's asking for?
I am. My name is Ola.
Rica, this have Ricardo's number, Ola. Ricardo don't live here.
Oh, do you have a good number for Ricardo, please?
No, I don't.
All right, thank you. All right, so there's bad number for Ricardo, and I did the right thing. I asked if he has a number, right? You should always ask, you know. But I'm gonna delete that number. Say no. We're gonna click resume. It's calling the next number. But there are actually 3 numbers available to call for this person on there. You just never know which one is which, right? And this is Elizabeth. This is an Elizabeth. So let me see. Maybe we can go on to the next slide here. Let's go on to the next slide. So we'll talk about time versus money. The next point is cold calling versus direct mailing. Okay. So as a form of marketing, there are multiple different marketing strategies.
Please leave your message for.
Got a voicemail. So all right, we'll drop a voicemail on that line. So direct mailing can be completely automated. You set it up and it mails out, right? And you just wait until you get calls. Yes, sounds sweet. And yes, it costs a lot of money, okay? Or you can cold call. Cold call is...
Hello?
Yes, can I speak to Ricardo,
Hello?
please? Can I speak to Ricardo?
Hello?
Yes, can I speak to Ricardo?
Hello?
Hi. All right, so it typically never... I'm going to try redial. It sounds like the person couldn't hear me. Let's try redial. All right.
Hello?
Yes, hello. Hi.
Hello?
Hi.
Who is this?
My name is Ola. I'm trying to speak to Ricardo. This person don't want to talk at all. So I'm going to say no answer so we can reach out back. Maybe it's just the wrong timing. Okay, sometimes it's the wrong timing. You have to be willing to let it go. Let it go and come back to it later. Okay. When time allows.
Hello?
Yes, hi. Can I speak to Maria? Maria.
Hello?
Hello, can I speak to Maria?
Hello?
Hi, Maria. They hung up. So I'm going to say no answer, and we're going to try the other one. Clearly, it's the wrong timing. Right? So that simple 13 lead that I said earlier, I'm 60 minutes deep right now. Okay? That needs to be in my 90 minutes per day. Okay? So I can do other things like going to appointments, like dealing with my existing clients, and, you know, have my other life. Okay? So I can stay organized. Okay? But today, it's at least I know what I'm up against, you know. But I'm going to finish this session and then we're going to call it a day. Okay. So cold calling versus direct mailing is essentially a battle between what kind of resources you have. Eventually, you want to have your hands everywhere and you know and touch everything, right? In a way that you're also managing your marketing budget, your resources. But if you're starting off and you're brand new, send this person the voicemail, right? See, somebody just tried to call back, so sending them to voicemail, right? All right, so if you're starting off, chances are you have much more time than you have money. But at the very minimum, you can create time, okay? Because when you care about something, you create time for it. You arrange time for it, okay? All right, that's the way it works, okay? So for Maria Martinez with no answers on 3 numbers already, is dialing the 4th number right now. And while we're doing that, somebody's trying to call in.
Hello?
Yes, hi. Can I speak to Mr. or Mrs. Martinez? Oh Lord. Yeah. Let me try that one more time.
Sí, dígame.
Yes, can I speak to Mr. Martinez? Yeah. Yeah, not bad. No answer. We're gonna move on to the next one. Okay. So does that make sense now? So yeah, so direct mailing is something you set up once and you can just send mailings out. It costs money, okay? And just wait for calls to come in. When somebody call from your letter and they actually call in, they've seen the letter that says you're interested in buying their property. So they're a little bit more pre-qualified, but again, to get to that costs a little bit more money. So it really all depends on what kind of resources you have that you're playing with. Sometimes you just don't have that, and all you have, because if you spend $50 every week for the next 4 weeks per month. It's $200, okay? And just waiting for calls. That's not a lot of volume of letters to be waiting for calls. Can it work? Yes, it can work. Anything can work. The only thing that will not make any of this work is consistency. If it's lacking consistency, so either you've chosen to do direct mailing or you've chosen to do cold calling. Consistency is the number one key of all of it. Okay, if you're not consistent, you will fail. Now, my call session ended. I don't know why. Was that the end of all the numbers in there? I'm not sure. So I'm gonna try to restart the call session, and we're gonna go back and restart the call session. I'm gonna click dial. Yes. So anything that I've called today to automatically. Okay, and we're gonna click. So we have 6 more leads to call and 13 more calls to make. 6 more leads. All right. Stop.
Welcome, store. The Jack customer you have called is unavailable to take your call. Please leave a message after the tone.
Okay. Let's see here. All right. So, hey, we're still here. We're still here.
Sir, your worry is unavailable at the moment, so please leave a message and I'll get back to you as soon as possible.
Dropping a voicemail on that one. Drop a voicemail on that one. Okay. All right. So, right now we're dialing this property, square footage, such a small house. 2016, old stuff.
Hi, this is Tracy. Did you leave a message? Thank you. At the tone, please record your voice message. When you are finished recording, you may hang up or press pound for more options.
That's a voicemail. All right. All right. So let's go back to what we're talking about: cold calling and direct mail. Now, cold direct mail is how I started. Okay, and at the time this was 2005. Um, at the time, competition wasn't as high when it comes to direct mail. You have to remember the gurus are teaching people the same strategies every day. Okay, and the way I look at these things are, if the gurus are teaching them, then everybody is bombarding that same strategy. Now, the cream
Please
always.
leave your message for Amanda.
It's Amanda. Doesn't sound right, but we're gonna leave a voicemail anyway. All right. So always remember that either way, the cream always rises to the top. Okay. So if your money goes long, You can still do direct mail as long as you remember that it's all about consistency. You will find a deal and you will close a deal. If there's an ultimatum on your marketing budget, let's say you say,
Hello.
"Hi, can I speak to Marim?"
Hello?
Yeah, Marim, Jacelio, Marim.
That's the wrong number.
Thank you. It's the wrong number. It's typical of Newark, Elizabeth, and places like this. Okay, it's a numbers game. Keep going. It's a numbers game. So, like as I was saying, what was I saying again? Direct mailing, right? But cold calling it intimidates people. It's like public speaking, right? And that's the zone where.
Hello.
Hi, can I speak to Jacelio Marim?
Hello?
Marim,
You got wrong number.
thank you.
Who's speaking?
My name is Ola. I'm calling about. Well, he said, "Who's speaking?" I'm gonna click just delete. It is probably wrong number. Now we're calling the Philadelphia number. Maybe it's a landlord that's out of town. Never know. Never know. Yeah, this.
Hello?
Yeah, hi. Can I speak to Marim Jacelio?
Yes, bye.
They said bye. So I'm gonna say wrong number, and you can say yes, and we're gonna keep it moving. Okay. We're calling. There's a number here that we're calling. Let's see.
Please leave your message for Yowande Fotile.
Yewande Oseni. Okay, we're dropping that. All right, on to the next one here, called Street Elizabeth.
Por favor, deje su mensaje para
Voicemail.
Gabriel.
On to the next. So lease spendings for this property in 2015. So foreclosure date, who knows? All right, so you never know. So let's go back to. So cold calling is an activity that most people shy away from. It's like public speaking, and it's a good place that you can really leverage, that you can take advantage of while everybody else runs away from it. Okay, there's no competition in cold calling as a wholesaler. Okay, it's always going to be less competition, and the big guys in the business, they still leverage it. If they don't have the time for it, they will hire somebody else to do it. Okay, because there's no competition there. Okay, I'm almost done. Okay, all right. So that's the way it works. You just gotta, you just gotta do your thing. Gotta do your thing and keep moving. So right now in the second session of this overtime, we've done 6 minutes, 5 leads, 10 calls made. Okay, this is a very very long session. Okay, but I'm sure you're learning a lot as we go. So cold calling versus direct mail, as usual, I do both. Okay, I do a hybrid of both at this stage. Um, the the goal, as usual, is less. Hello.
What's this?
Okay, yeah, this is Ola. I'm trying to speak to Mr. Rodriguez.
Sorry, who?
Rodriguez, Michael Rodriguez.
No, this is the wrong number.
Wrong number. Thank you. All right, so my goal as always is to reduce personal cold calling. Of course, I will always have people doing that for me because, again, like I said, the competition is not very high. It's very low. Like people are not picking up those phones, and the phone is still it's about attention, right? It's about trading attention. Exposure is everything. The currency is attention. So if you can get people's attention on the phone, why not? Like, why would anybody ever shy away from that, right? It's because they are lazy in the mind, or they are shying away from because they feel like it's difficult. They don't want to get crushed at. Now I've been on now for how long? About 2 hours now, or a little bit over 2 hours. How many people have cursed me out? None, right? I've had a few conversations, and all of them is either I'll call you back, or call me back, or you say no, I'm not interested. It doesn't matter. It's a numbers game, okay? Bottom line is that I'm leaving a bunch of voicemails, okay? And let's see here, resume. Forgot to click resume. I'm leaving a bunch of voicemails, and those things are marketing. It's marketing messages out there for my business, and obviously, I want to keep doing that. So not only am I doing that, I'm actually documenting it as I'm going, and that's why you see me doing this training and and doing this, right? So my father is calling. I'm sending him to voicemail. We'll call him back later. All right. So we're calling the last number on Michael's name here, and it looks like nobody's talking. Hello? Reached end of campaign. Yep, reached end of campaign. So that was it. We finished that call. Couple of voicemails here. Let me see if this. I'm not gonna play voicemail because I don't know what's in there. It could be a personal call, right? But just so you know, okay. So let me switch screens. Let's go back to. I'm gonna end this. The call ended. End of this particular campaign. And we're gonna do the pause. Let's see what's in the pause. So we're now 4 hours and 26 minutes. Okay, and I want to share that screen with you so you can see that data. This is gonna be lots of fun. A lot of fun, lot of fun, lot of fun. All right, don't forget to pick up my book, myEmpirePRO.com. Pick up the book if you want to learn some online marketing with this stuff. If you don't have the time, but you have other resources that you can leverage, then learning how to generate traffic online is a plus that you can literally spend 10 to 30 minutes per day to maintain on a daily basis, and you can start bringing in some serious monies online in real estate anywhere. All right, so we've made 140. We've called for 141 leads, 307 calls made in total because some people have multiple numbers, some leads have multiple numbers. 17 contacts. Okay, 91 voicemails left. Okay, so that number is not shown on the ultimate number here, but voicemails are powerful to leave on people's voice phone, or to leave on people's voicemail inbox. Okay, and I've had 5 callbacks set. That means they're interested somehow, some way. I'm gonna reach out back to them later. Okay, so that's what I have for you today. Hopefully, you've been enlightened and educated. MyEmpirePro.com is where you want to go. This process is gonna get easier. Okay, and I'm glad that you're watching this. Okay, either you're watching a rebroadcast later or you're hanging out with me live. I'm glad you saw it because it's going to get better and better. So you must just pick yours up and start going. For the best way to start, I suggest you learn online marketing and learn how to drive traffic online too. But for you to learn my mindset about this whole thing, exposure is everything. I want you to go through myEmpirePro.com and download my book for free. Okay, and follow through that process. Okay, that's the best thing I can advise you right now, especially if you're brand new here. If you're brand new here, I want you to click subscribe and click the bell right next to the subscribe button to become part of the notification squad. I want you to click like, share, leave a comment below if you have any questions. Give me your suggestions. If you have a better way of saying what I say, um, or doing prospecting, cold calling, please share it with me as well too. Everybody, we teach each other as we go. I really appreciate that. But thank you so much for hanging out with me. Hopefully, you've been enlightened and educated. And I'll see you on the next one. And peace.